Hi everyone, and welcome to And So On. My name is Lisa, and today I have some advent calendars to show you, as well as all of my whips. Okay, so today is a knitting day, and somehow I have ended up with a ridiculous number of whips. Very much more than I ever have in my whole knitting lifetime. It's somewhere around 16, but I keep discovering more. So we're gonna go through those. Some of them are going to get frogged, some are gonna go into hibernation, and some are gonna get finished. Now, I wanna share with you, I have two advent calendars, which is really fun because I've never had a knitting advent calendar. I've only ever really had an advent calendar when I was a kid. I had like the chocolate ones, and I've never done it since then. And I'm always doing an advent calendar for my kids, and that's kind of part of my Christmas tradition. So this year, I'm really excited to have two advent calendars. So I'm in a chat group with some other podcasters, and I suggested, why don't we make yarn advent calendars for each other? So it's kind of not so much a swap, because for instance, I've received mine from Inga from Knitting Traditions, and I made one for Camila of Cami Jo Knits. And actually, if you go over and follow Camila on her channel, you'll see her open my advent calendar every day. And of course, Knitting Traditions, if you go over to her channel, you will see all the beauties. And it's so cool because we did it just from leftovers. So the idea was that we all have so many scraps, so many leftovers, that we, between 10 and 20 grams of what we had on hand, created an advent calendar for each other. And we just sent it on, and there were little chocolates and things in there. And it's just been so much fun. And one of the best parts for me is because Inga is in Norway, I'm getting to see these Norwegian yarns that I've heard about, but I've never had the opportunity to try. And same with Camila, I'm sending her, you know, some Spanish yarns and also some Canadian yarns that I have with me and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm already looking forward to next year. Okay, before I start, I want to tell you what I'm wearing. This is my Glee shawl from Espace Tricot. Let me back this up. Sorry, I just knocked over my camera, so it's not gonna be the exact same framing. This is the Glee shawl from Espace Tricot. I made it in 3 different DK weight yarns from Knit Crate, and it just is such a lovely shawl. Someone agreed with me in the previous episode when I showed it to you that it does kind of have a half and half triangles wrap kind of feel to it, and that it's big and it's garter and it just kind of goes on for miles and miles. But because it's DK, it goes faster, and there's different colors in it. Of course, now there's the stripy half and half. You will see that in a little bit. Not the stripy one, but you'll see my half and half. Anyway, I love this. It's not blanket size, but I can certainly kind of put it on my legs if I'm chilly, or it's easy to just like wrap around, and the kids like to wear it as well. And then underneath, I'm wearing my Afra. Oops, I lied, there's a third. There's a third piece of knitting hiding underneath. Okay, I'll tell you this first, because this is the one I didn't get to share with you last time. So this is the Gridlines Cowl by Susanna Kartinen. And you can see that you've got lines going this way, and then you've got tuck stitches to create this grid. And then on the inside, it's lined, and you, when you do the lining, you move to a smaller needle. So the gauge is tighter, so it hugs your neck really nicely. And this is leftover yarn from when I frogged my Le Pouf Cardi. You'll remember I made a Anchors tee from it, and then this is the rest of the leftover. So the yarn is Julia's Lin Fino, which is merino cashmere silk. It is very, very luxurious, and it's perfect for something that's super close to your skin. So, you know, I'm very happy that I decided to frog that cardigan and make 2 other pieces that I'm just gonna use so much more. And then lastly is my Afra. I made this last year, I tested it. It's one of my most worn pieces. This is in Schachenmeyer yak, merino yak. So technically it's a sock yarn, and I think it's listed as fingering weight, but really I think it's more sport weight or heavy fingering. And so it worked really well for this sport weight jersey jumper, you know what I mean. Wear it all the time. I slept in it last night. Shh. and I couldn't bear to take it off in the morning because it was chilly. So yeah, this is a really, really comfortable piece. I'm gonna put my shawl back on. It's not super cold right now, but I'm trying to leave the heating off as much as possible. I only just turned it on the day before yesterday, and I'm trying to leave it off as much as possible because of, well, you know, energy costs in Europe right now are a little bit insane. Okay, let me start off with showing you my first 6 Advent colors from the lovely Inga of Knitting Traditions. So they're all in these little boxes, and I have started 2 Advent projects. Well, technically 4, because it's a pair of socks and a pair of mittens, but let me show you each of them. So the first one, this is called Murky Depths Picante, harbor style, sorry. It's Murky Depths Picante, and it's Harbor Single Fingering is the name of the company. And she made a beautiful sweater out of this that she was wearing on her channel just the other day. And I think she had it paired with a silk mohair. It's a very soft fingering yarn. So that was number 1. And then number 2 is Shachemeier Regia Tweed. And I love my Regia, but I've never tried the tweed. So that was kind of nice to be able to try the tweedy yarn. And then number 3 is Rauma Finul. And I have never had Rauma Finul yarn before. So this was kind of fun. There's a big chunk of this, it's 17 grams. And of course I've seen Rauma Finul, but I've never actually purchased it. So it's very nice to have that in the brown. And then we came to the Hillesborg Tinde, which if you've ever watched Knitting Traditions, you know that like that's her favorite yarn is Hillesborg Tinde. And I don't know if they ship outside of Norway, but I've never seen it before. Oh, I think a puppy is coming home. Marta just got home from her walk with my daughter who is off school today. So, okay, so this is Tinde by Hillesborg in beige. And it's so woolly and, but quite soft still, like it has a nice feel to it. And then that's 4. 5 is Hillesborg Fjord Sock Yarn in Lys Gray, or I think it's Lys Gray, Lys Gray. A little bit thicker, this one, than the Tinde. Yeah, really nice. I'm loving, like I feel like my mittens are gonna be Norwegian mittens because I think it's all Norwegian yarns. And then the last one that is Hillesborg Tinde in Cognac. And this to me is just what I think of when I think of Inga's knitting. It's a little darker. It's being lit up by it's a little deeper than what you're seeing. It's a little more that. It's a little more that. Yeah, I'm in love. I'm in love. It's so much fun. So let me show you what I'm making with those. These count as 2 of my whips, but do you really count it when it's an Advent whip? I don't think so. Okay, I'm doing socks concurrently, and I'll take this off here. I have something to make sure that they don't fall off. So I'm doing 60 stitches on 2.0 needles, which is my usual, and I'm doing 5 stripes a day. So I cast on with just some scrap yarn here, the yellow at the bottom, and then I started here at the bottom, and I'm doing 5 stripes per. And it's kind of nice because I wake up in the morning, I open my Advent calendar, do the things I need to get done, and then I sit down and I watch Camila on her Vlogmas, which is, she's always been the Vlogmas that I've watched. That's how I kind of got to know her. And I watch her open my yarns while I knit my Advent calendar yarns. So I've been keeping up with that really well. And actually the nice thing about this too is it reminds me of what order I received the yarns. And then I thought, well, I still have so much left over. And I didn't really want to start another sweater because I've got 16 whips over here. So I didn't think I needed to start another sweater. So what I did was I found a mitten pattern. And wait, where's my iPad? Okay. There are so many patterns out there. People put together pattern collections for Advent minis. And I hadn't found like the right thing. I had some ideas. And then I found these mittens, which are called the Kuti mittens by Josephine Ackerström, who is at Pillar Stick Garn. I'll link to them. And it's a free pattern. And they're designed in Raumafinun. And so I thought, well, perfect, because that's what I'm starting off with. So at the moment, I only have one of these. I will start the second one soon, but look how cute. Oh wait, that's the back. Look how cute. Isn't that great? So because I have the socks in the order, I don't feel now like I have to do them just in the order. I can kind of choose. Sorry, I had a little coughing attack there. I still have this stupid cold. I swear it's been like 6 weeks with this cold. Anyway, I'm loving these. They're gonna be woolly and rustic and, you know, really cozy. And I basically, since we moved to Spain, I haven't had any mittens because generally when it's cold, which it does get cold, but it doesn't get, you know, it doesn't even get to 0 usually. I just put my hands in my pockets. But now I have a dog, so I have to hold on to a leash. Darling, get up and lie down. Marta wanted to come and say hello. You gonna say hello? Say hi. I just got back from my walk. I just had a little bit of water. And now I'm gonna have a nappy. Yeah? I'm gonna lie down and have a nappy, yes. Fingers crossed she has a nappy. Okay, so I'm very happy with these. What I really need right now is a pair of mittens more than anything else. So that's why I'm prioritizing them. So I did start the second one and I wasn't happy with the ribbing. So I'm maybe just gonna do these ones, you know, one at a time. So I have those. Okay, so my other advent is the advent calendar from Save the Sheep, which is an organization that another podcaster, 2 other podcasters actually, one of them is named Nicole. She and I have become friends through Instagram and through YouTube, and she has the podcast Time Weaver, and she does natural dyeing. She lives in Granada, which is in another southern Spain in Andalusia. And we just met up during Barcelona Knits, so that was really fun. And then, so they took these yarns, let me find so here's the little book that came with it. So the name of the sheep are Rosé, and it's an ancient mountain sheep that has always been raised in the Aosta Valley in Italy. And basically their yarn was going to waste and they were starting to, you know, I guess become endangered. And so what they do is they take these endangered sheep and they take the wool and they do something with it. So this is the inaugural Save the Sheep. They're going to pick a different, as far as I understand, they're going to pick a different group of sheep every time they do this. But I ordered their advent. So in this case, the yarn all came in one fell swoop and you open it together, and the advent part is the pattern. And every day, Antonio, who is Beagle Knits, he also has a podcast that I can list. He publishes the pattern and as well as a video. Now, Antonio doesn't really speak much English, so not so, and his videos are in Spanish and Italian, which is actually great because it helps me practice both my Spanish and my Italian, which I spoke Italian. I studied Italian before I studied Spanish, so it's great for me to actually hear both. So I'm keeping in here. It's a big saga with me and project bags. I have almost no project bags and I keep saying I'm gonna make them and then I never do, but I don't know about you guys, these like plasticky, these kind of bags are everywhere. Everyone's giving these away. So I have probably 5 or 6 of them and I'm just using them as project bags. I don't love that they're plasticky, but you know, I didn't buy them, so I feel like at least I'm putting them to use. Okay, so here is, one of the skeins, and these skeins were dyed with olive and pomegranate. So this is called Golden Grenadine, Dorado Grenadino, and Grenadino is pomegranate, so golden pomegranate, I believe. And this is 95 meters per 50 grams, so it's a bulky. And I've already wound up both of the contrasts. So we got 4 of these and then 2 contrast, and this is the contrast color. I don't have the thing what it's called, but the contrast color is a little bit deeper. Although my second contrast one is much less of a contrast. But I think what I might do is wind off part of it because I think the other half of it was darker. So right now I have these, and every day you get a little part of the shawl, which I think is great because, you know, with the Stephen West thing, in a week you actually have a lot of knitting to do, but in a day it's just like a little bit. So here's what I have so far. It's not super easy to hold up, but I'll try. So we started here, and then we added an I-cord bind off, and then we added these lace panels to either side. And then yesterday we did another I-cord. We picked up I-cord around here. So I'm really curious to see, looks very much like a butterfly right now, doesn't it? So I'm very curious to see where this ends up. It's rustic, definitely rustic. It doesn't pick on the hands, but I wouldn't use this next to my face. Could make a really great, like Icelandic sweater, like that kind of thing. Anyway, so I've got that all in here, and it's on 6mm needles, so it goes really, really fast. So those are my advents. That's three whips just with my advents. Okay, next, let's go with this. So, remember I said that I wasn't gonna sign up for any more test knits this year? Signed up for 2 new test knits. I've cast on one, the other one I'm waiting for yarn. This one's going by really, really quick. So this is the Snowfield Slipover by Coco Amour Knits, which is out of London, I believe. And I have a good chunk of this done so far. So really, I just need to do about another 5 or 6 centimeters on the body, and then I can start the ribbing. For this one, there's this company here in Spain called Senshoku, and they have really great stores of drops. Whereas a lot of the other ones, because there was a big sale, were all run out. These guys have lots, and they ship really, really fast. So I'm using a combination of Drops Soft Tweed, which I had not used before, but I really, really like, and Drops Air, which I have used before. So these two together, and I've been winding them together into a ball before I start, rather than holding it double. I just wind it into a ball. And this is just soft and lush and cozy. Also on the 6mm needles, which I have been swapping back and forth between the shawl and this. And actually, I want to tell you guys about these needles as well, because that's a new acquisition for me. Yeah, so this is due sometime at the end of December. I don't anticipate it taking much longer because I am working on it fairly consistently. So these are the needles that I wanted to show you. So these are from Prim. Let me unzip it. You can see here. They go from, they go from a 4 to a 10. And the reason why I got these were about 50 bucks for the set. Came with 3 cords and a bunch of stoppers. I got these because you'll see a project later. I was really finding the metal needles too slippery. And because of that, I was gripping really tightly and my hands were getting sore. And I thought, you know what, maybe I should get some wood needles because it will be more comfortable for my hands. So I saw these online, and I know that Prim is, you know, good quality. Now these are actually with Knit Pro, because now I realize they say Prim and Knit Pro on them. So that makes sense. So they work with the Knit Pro cables, also the Licca cables, if you have Licca. So I got these because they also have the 9s and the 10s, and I don't own any 9s and 10s, and I've lost one of my 8s. And so even if I were to buy just a set of 5s, which is what I needed, and a set of 8s is what I needed, I'm almost at half the cost of a whole set. That's how I justified it anyway. So, and the little case is actually really convenient and easy. These are very lacquered compared to other wooden needles I have from Licca. And yeah, the other ones I have are from Licca. These are really lacquered. So they're almost like a hybrid of having a metal and a wood, because they have a little bit more grip to them. But sometimes with the wood ones, I don't know if you guys find this, I worry that I'm going to like splinter the tips or wear down the tips. And these feel a little more sturdy to me. So I've been knitting with them now for a couple weeks because I got them before Black Friday. And I can recommend them as a backup set. I don't know that I'd make these my only set. They also don't go down super low, but as a backup set or as an extra set to fill in, you know, a gap in your needles, I would say this is very good. All right, let's just grab a bag because I don't even know what's in these. Okay. This is the Billy pullover from Sari Nordland, which I tested last year. I was doing it in Cascade 220. You can see I made a mistake there. I was very proud of this make. It was my first all over texture, all over cable sweater. I did have intentions in finishing it. I think those intentions have changed. I think maybe I'm not gonna finish this. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to finish this. I've heard mixed things about the fit once it's done. The way the honeycomb cable kind of goes. And honestly, I can even think of other Sari Nordland cable sweaters that I might rather do. And I just don't know that I have the motivation to go back and figure out where I was and start this again. So I may reclaim my cables from this. No, not may, I'm going to. And then I'll have a sweater's quantity of red Cascade 220 that I can do something else with. So this is on the frog pile. We're gonna rip it. Another probably not gonna finish. Why are you saying probably when you're not going to? This is my Twists and Turns cowl from Steve & West. You know how much I loved the M-Cal that I did last year, the Shawlography. Lily's actually wearing that at school today. And this is the M-Cal from this year, the Twists and Turns. So I finished Clue 1, and it's very cool. I mean, I love this like braided detail. I did it in Drops Nord, so it was very reasonable to get all the yarn for that. But I fell behind because I was working on a couple of other test knits, and this first one was so much knitting. And once I fell behind and then I saw the second and third clues, I wasn't particularly enamored, and so I didn't have the motivation to move forward, and now I really don't have the motivation to move forward. So I think what I'm gonna try and do, because I do still really like the shawl, like it's still very cool. So I think what I'm gonna do is pick up along both edges and just garter stitch it down and make it something that I can wrap around. I was gonna make it into a cowl. Anina from Ani UT Knits did that, and oh, I'm gonna sneeze. All done. She made it into a cowl, which is awesome. I think I'm gonna make mine into a shawl. So I think I'm just gonna pick up along the edges, maybe even do the garter wedges from the Steve & West cowl. I don't know, we'll see. This is going into like partial hibernation. It's not going to be worked on anytime soon, but I have this portion, it's done, and I'm certainly not gonna frog it, so I'll find something to do with it. Oh, okay, next is my sock tube, and I showed this to you guys last time, so here's we are, 1 sock, 2 socks, 3 socks, 4 socks. I am on the 4th of 5 socks, maybe 6, we'll see. I think what I'm gonna do, so this was one that I started for myself. If you hear crunching, Marta is chewing on her bone. So this is the first one. This is in Retrosaria Pomar Mondim. And then I decided to make socks for 2 of my close friends here in Spain, which I don't often make socks for the people, but they are very knit-worthy. So this one is scrappy, and I will cut it off here. And then there's the second one. And then this one here is for another friend of mine, and this is color changing yarn. It's Lana Grossa About Berlin Yak. And I definitely recommend it. It's lovely, it's really soft. So this one, I'm almost finished the first sock, and my goal is to, what is it? Shh, Marta, enough, thank you. All done. So my goal is to cut this apart on camera next week sometime. And so I have this that I'm pulling from. And I roughly am trying to knit 5 centimeters a day on it. But that's just a rough thing, you know. I mean, I'm giving it to them for Christmas, so it's not that much of a rush. Okay, next is my Snowy Forest from Midori Hirose. And this is in Nutiden. And then, so the top part is fully Nutiden. And I love it. I love it. It is soft and cushy and beautiful, and I will 100% buy the Nutiden yarn again. It's just gorgeous. And then I had a bit of a panic attack that I was gonna run out of yarn. It would have been Yarn Chicken, but I knew that I wanted it to be long enough that I could actually wear it. And I like things to kind of come, you know, below the line of my jeans, my mid-rise jeans, because I get a very chilly lower back. So I don't want it to be cropped. So I started stranding it with, and I have the 2 yarns here. So this is the, this is the Nutiden, beautiful color. And then this is the Drops Alpaca. I'll write it down, I can't remember. I always get confused between the Silk Alpaca, I'll write the name. It's the thicker one. It's the thicker one. It's not the mohair alternative, it's the other one. So I wind these together like this. I was being super clever, and I took my plates of Nutiden and put them together because I knew I was going to be double stranding. And now I have to separate all of these balls of Nutiden that I had wound into double strand balls. So that's adding to my time crunch. Now that said, this is in a really good shape. Like, I think it looks fine, the marl. It's much lighter, softer. Let me put it on because I have been wearing it around the house as a slipover over a sweater. And it's really nice. I mean, lush. It's just lush. Let me see if I can show you where it comes down to. See? Perfect length for me. I am undecided, so you're supposed to attach it here, but I kind of like it up here. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know. But these cables are amazing. I've made a mistake. Why do we always point out our mistakes? But this portion here, I did something wrong. I can't remember what it was. So it's not as clean as it could be, but this is the focus, right? Like these big chunky, like it's supposed to be like snow hanging on branches of trees. Anyway, I love. So clearly this is going to get finished. I don't know if I'm going to pick up for the sleeves before Christmas or not. Maybe just before Christmas I'll pick up for the sleeves. They shouldn't take too long because the split for the sleeves is so low on this sweater. I would really like to wear it soon, so, and it's the sweater that I have closest to completion. So I don't know, but it's not going into hibernation, maybe just on pause for a couple weeks. We'll see. Let's see, what's over here? Something old. Right, okay, so this is the Esther Vest by Cami Jo Knits. I cast this on last year for Lily. This is one of my oldest whips. It may be my oldest whip actually, from last December. And it's in a sparkly worsted from Knit Crate. Holding it upside down might be, there you go, you can see. It's got this great cable. She has since released a sweater pattern with this same design. And as you can see, I am a good portion of the way done. I'm not quite sure why I stopped on this last year. Oh, I remember, because of Lily's, I started it because I thought it could count as white for Lily's uniform, and then they got stricter and gray could no longer count. This year she doesn't have a uniform, so she can wear it. And I have a good amount left. I feel like I can finish it with this amount, and honestly, if I can't, a little contrast at the back in pure white, I don't really care, or in gray, that's not sparkly. I've got lots of options. So I'd like to finish this for Lily for Christmas. I don't think it's gonna well, maybe this coming weekend, I can put it on the needles. I don't think it'll take a hugely long time to finish. I'm making the smallest size. So yeah, so there's that. Okay, this is one of the few project bags I do have that I made. This is my half and half triangles wrap. Right, so the half and half triangles wrap, if you've been living under a rock, is a famous Pearl Soho pattern where you knit two gigantic triangles. Good job, baby. Just come to lie at my feet. Two gigantic triangles, and they make essentially what is a small blanket. And it's traditionally made from this Pearl Soho linen quill, which is wool and linen, and I think maybe a bit of cotton or nylon. There's a third component, I can't remember. Anyway, so I have this color, and I have like a mushroom color, which I don't think I have handy. I think it's downstairs. And you're just doing miles and miles of stockinette, and then every once in a while you turn around. Where am I? I don't want this to fall off the needles by accident. I think I just, yes, yes, I've just dropped a mountain of stitches. Oh, fantastic. Look, I've just dropped all these stitches. Fabulous. Okay, give me a second. Oh no. Oh no. You know what? I can't even fix this right now. I'm not even gonna bother trying. I've got this much. I've got this much, which means this is the second skein of 3. And usually I think people say it takes 2.5 per color. I'm gonna gently put this back in the bag so that I can salvage the stitches later. You know, people are very passionate about this pattern, and I do get it, but I think because I'm a sock knitter, when I just want to knit mindlessly and be just relaxed and not have to think, I knit socks. So this just feels like I could be doing so much else while I'm working on miles and miles of stockinette. I don't think I'm gonna frog it because I've already come so far. I think what I'm gonna do is finish the brick red color and then probably use leftovers to do the stripe version, because when I started this, the stripe version hadn't come out yet. And I know that there's a slight difference in it, but I'm sure I can figure it out and just stripe it on the way back so that it'll be half solid, half stripe. And probably use the other color linen quill, the mushroom, because I have 3 skeins of that, probably use that for a sweater. I think that's what I'm gonna do. This is definitely on hibernation until after Christmas, minimum. Okay, what's in here? Oh, this really is a surprise to me every time I open one of these. This is a sad story for which I am fully responsible. I can blame no one. It is entirely my fault. So, this is the Edamine sweater. It is by Emma Duché, and it is for Making Stories magazine. All right, so I think I've shown this to you once before. It's got some really lush color work and texture. So it's like color and texture in the same thing. Really, really nice. This is in Ulysse yarn, Durare Natura Ulysse. And I had made a sweater in Ulysse last year, and I had some left over. And so when the test call came out, and you also got a 20% discount on the Ulysse, I thought, oh, perfect. I have some left over, so I'll have to buy less. Plus I get the discount. Plus I really like the color work, obviously. So let's go for it. So I ordered, and what I had left over was the Darjeeling, which is this here. And so I ordered some Darjeeling, and I ordered some Darjeeling, and I ordered some colors, and I probably honestly even now have enough for another sweater that could be like very scrappy and stripy. One second. Sorry, I had to stop to blow my nose. This cold is just never ending. So this was a test, and I got cocky and thought that it was a big, long testing block, which is almost worse for me because I'm a procrastinator, and I just procrastinated and thought, oh, well, it's like, you know, it's sport weight on 4.5 needles. It'll be fine. And then I was like getting down to the wire and not gonna finish. Clearly I did not finish, although I did finish, you know, the colorwork panel, and I did give my feedback. But, and I did one whole sleeve first before I finished the body. Well, Can you see? That's not a trick of the light. Look at the difference in the two skeins. Now, well, did you alternate skeins? No. Did you make sure that the dye lots were the same? No. I just barreled on through, and now it's literally two-tone, and this is what I have left. You can even see here, right? Well, I didn't keep the ball bands, so I don't know which one's which. I think this is the darker one if I'm just looking at it. I think this is this one and this is this one. So what do I do? Well, first of all, I threw it in a closet because I was so frustrated with myself. It was totally my fault. Obviously, I have to rip it back, and I have to rip back the sleeve. I think what I'm probably gonna do is, because this is clearly the lighter one, I think I'm gonna rip back to where I changed and finish with this, because what I did was, I finished the sleeve, I had this much left over, and I just started a new ball. I can't remember why, like probably this wasn't handy and I thought, oh, I'll just start a new ball. And that's when it all went awry. So either I rip back and I alternate, or I rip back, I rip this back, I finish the body in this one, and then I do the sleeves in the other color, and I don't care. I honestly don't know which is better, or if you guys have another idea. And because I don't know, because I didn't keep the ball bands, I don't even know the dye lot. Amateur hour over here, people, amateur hour. But on the bright side, it's a lovely sweater. I want to finish it. I want to wear it. So not in the cards before Christmas, but I think maybe after Christmas, maybe January will be finishing sweaters month. Because in January, I'm going to have another sweater to test to finish. All right, let's feel over here. What else do we have? This is actually an easy peasy one. This is the, is it the Trescow? I'll write it on the screen, by Maria Amélie Designs. It's a free pattern now. She made all of her patterns free when she retired from designing. Clearly it needs a steam. I made this in 100% alpaca from Knit Crate. And then after wearing it for a while, I realized that I had dropped a stitch. And for some reason, rather than just dropping down and fixing it, I decided to frog all of the ribbing and start over again. I honestly don't know why I did that. So what I'm gonna have to do, oh my God, there's loud people outside my door. Oh, and then here I managed to tear through my bind off. It smells really good though. And the color's amazing and it's perfect for Christmas. So, and Lily would just love to wear this. It's got puff sleeves, which of course, because I did it in all alpaca before I realized, this is an older knit 2 years ago. And before I recognized that like alpaca is not gonna hold any shape, I did that. So I have leftovers of this, not a ton, but enough. I'm going to fix the bind off on the body and redo the ribbing here on the sleeves. And then I'll have a very nice little sweater. So that's not so much of a big a deal. I think I'm gonna put this in the pile to do before Christmas. Maybe that's it. There's like a before Christmas and an after Christmas pile. We'll put this in before Christmas. I've shown you that, I've shown you that, I've shown you that. Okay, 3 more. Oh my goodness. This is another one of my project bags that I like, that I wanna make more. Who knows when. This is the Friday Tee by Petite Knit. I started this in the summer. It's lovely, I love it. I've split for the sleeves. It's fisherman's rib. No, is it broken rib? I think it's broken rib. And I got the yarns that come with, so it's the Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino, which I really like. It's lovely. And you get 1 of the contrast and 3 of the white. But it's winter and I don't really want to work on a spring summer sweater in the winter. So I've put it on stoppers and taken off those needles, and I will revisit probably in February or March. This is definitely an after Christmas, but definitely not a frog. No, no, no. This little project bag that I have the sock in. So this is from Barcelona Knits as well. This is Vovo, which is Rosa Pomar, which is another one of their yarns. So they have the Mondim. Vovo is another one of theirs. And look, it's a knitting granny. And look, she's got tattoos. She's got knitting tattoos. And she's knitting a shawl, a scarf. She's knitting a scarf, but look, she's got like knitting tattoos. Isn't that funny? So I couldn't resist. I picked that up. So that's perfect for a little sock project. And clearly handmade and really nice linen. So I picked that up. The last two makes are both for Lily. And somehow, I don't know, I always felt that I'd made more for Audrey than for Lily, but now it seems to have shifted the other way. Although the girls and I just recently, now that the two girls are now almost exactly the same size, and they're clearly a little bit smaller than me, but not by much. So we can wear the same knitwear. So instead of, you know, constantly trading things back and forth, I've put all of my knitwear in a zippered under the bed storage in their bedroom, and so they can open it up. Not all of my knits, not all of them. I keep some in my bedroom, but mostly. And that way they can, you know, wear what they want to wear and kind of share a little bit of each. So when I made this a couple weeks ago, and well, no, a little more than that now, right? And it felt so fast at the time. I thought, okay, well, I'll make one for Lily, and I let her pick the colors. And there was a big drops sale at the time. This is my other storage device, IKEA plastic bags. And so this Drop Sky was on sale for like, I don't know, two something a ball. And so I let Lily pick the colors. And so she came up with these 3 colors. So these 2 will be for the main portion. And then this will be, oops, something else is holding on. This will be for the contrast. So it'll be these 3 together. It is a little bit finer than, I'll fix that later. It's a little bit finer than what I used for mine. So it's not knitting up quite as fast. However, look how, oops, that's backwards. There. Look how cute. Super cute, right? Now clearly I have a ways to go. This is the one that I needed the wooden needles for. I found that I was really struggling and really gripping, and it's a little bit splitty. This is like a chainette yarn. It can kind of catch. So maybe something a little bit blunter is better rather than a really pointy ChowGoo. And yeah, so this I'm gonna say is probably also after Christmas, because I think it's not particularly Christmassy, and she'll be able to wear it, you know, as long as it's cool. So yeah, definitely not a frog, but definitely after Christmas. This is another thing I've been using as a project bag. It's a zippered bag. My daughter went to a birthday party, and this is the restaurant. And they sent the leftovers home in a zippered bag. And I was like, yes, project bag, thank you. I'll take it. La tagliatella, Roma. Okay, so the last one I have is also for Lily. So I made a sweater, a test. It's an Andrea Mowry pattern. It comes out very soon, like in the next couple of days. Do I know what it's called? Like, I'm probably not gonna say anyway because it was a secret test knit. And I knit it in Drops Nord. No, Drops Lima. It's this great navy, royal navy blue color. Again, there was a big sale on the drops at the time. And so I think it was like, oh, I don't remember. Like the whole order was 35 euros. And I don't know if I read the meterage wrong on either the pattern or the ball band, or if maybe, you know, when you hit add to cart and then sometimes you hit it twice. Somehow I ended up with double the amount of this that I needed. I have 5 extra balls. So I was like, okay, and it's lovely to knit. So on a whim, because I don't have enough to do, just last week, I cast on a Le Classic sweater from Espace Tricot in Montreal. It's a free pattern. And yeah, oh look, see this little stitch marker here? That's from Nicole of Time Weaver. This was another thing that came with my Advent shawl. You can see here I've got the Prim needles on there. And I think I'm about 10 rows away from splitting for sleeves. So I'm getting there. It's got this great half twisted rib neck, and she just wanted a turtleneck. She wanted a dark colored turtleneck. So I'm quite a ways along if you look at like where the raglan is. And she's a little person and wants it to be fairly close fitting. So I'm making the smallest size. Right now I'm making this a priority because it feels doable and easy. And what I've been doing, the repeats for the increases are 4-row repeats. It's like, because it's a free pattern, I can tell you, it's like the first row you just increase the body, the second row you increase on the body and the sleeves, the third row you knit, and the fourth row you increase on the body and sleeves. So I think of that as a 4-row repeat that I can do once a day. And then in a couple days, I'll have split for the sleeves, and then it's just round and round and round. So that kind of becomes like a sock. So yes, this I'm hoping to have done for her in time for Christmas. Is that it? What else do I have here? What's this? No, that's done, that's done. I haven't even been counting, but I don't see anything else in my pile. Oh, there's one last thing. Okay, the ball is buried in my basket next to me, but I can show you the piece. Oh, come on, you're so silly. This is just a plain little cowl. I had a new friend who we were gonna go out for her birthday. She's very nice and not a knitter, and we were gonna go out for her birthday, and it was like a Friday, and we were gonna go out for her birthday on the Monday. And I have this really nice yarn from Knit Crate. I'll put on the screen what the, I wanna say it's like baby alpaca merino cashmere, I think is what the thing is. And I had one skein left. I had done a hat for myself out of this last year, but I had one skein left, and I thought maybe I'll just do a really easy cowl. And I don't think I used a pattern. I just got these. These are like, these are 8mm. Yeah, these are 8mm. And I just, you know, did a little ribbing, went for a bunch. Now I'm doing more ribbing, and then I'll cast off. But we ended up not going out, clearly, for dinner for this person's birthday, and I hadn't told her about it, and it would almost be a little awkward for me to give it to her after the fact, because we're not like friends. We're just kind of getting to know each other. She's like the wife of my husband's friend, and anyway. Long story long, I'm going to cast that off, and my husband has the lady behind the bar who makes his coffee every morning. She's a nice older lady, and he wanted me to give her something, or he wondered if there was something I could knit for her. And I thought, well, I have this, it's all done. It's like 95% done. So I'm gonna finish that, and he will give that to her for Christmas. Oh, I have one more, crap. Come on, this is really the last one, I think. Okay, this is a storage bag for my children's headphones, like an old set of headphones that no longer work. The headphones got tossed, but I thought, well, this is really useful. I can use this for socks. So in here this is the October sock set, fall sock set from Camila of Cami Jo Knits. And these are the colors. So I got the DK weight instead of the fingering. I think next time I will get the fingering. I don't find DK socks that satisfying. I know that they should be satisfying because they're like, they don't take as long and they're chunky and whatever, but I personally don't like the fabric. It just doesn't feel, especially in a superwash merino, I don't know, it's not satisfying to me. I did a garter heel, and do you know Barba Knit? I think it's Barba Knit. She, what's her name? Oh shoot. I'll put it on the screen. Linda? She is the test knit coordinator for Stephen West. She lives in Iceland, and she has a really great YouTube channel. It's not updated often, but it's when she does, it's great. And so she has a tutorial for this garter heel. And so I thought I'd try that out. Also, this is not the pattern that came with the socks. It was just a straight orange sock with the contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs, but I wanted to do a stripe. Although I was brilliant in that I switched the color on one side on the leg and the other side on the foot. So both sides are marred by a slight jog. I have lots of yarn left and I've only made the one. So Lily really likes these. They are just about her size. Again, Lily. Hopefully Audrey's not watching this. So I'm gonna give them to her when the time comes. My kids wear their hand knit stuff, like I said, all the time. So it's worth it. But isn't this clever? Like just throw it in your bag and it's got everything together. I can throw in my little snips if I want and whatever. Shall I show you a couple of acquisitions before we go? Okay, just a few more. Okay, so when I went to Barcelona Knits, I did buy quite a few things. Some of them I'm going to show you in a later episode because I'm using them for the Stephen West hybrid knit along that starts after Christmas. And I have a beautiful shawl planned for that. But I did, again, go to the Rosa Pomar. Oh, this is the same one. I went to the Rosa Pomar booth and I got this, which is, where is that? Oh, for goodness sake, I'm drowning in knits. I'm drowning. Where? Oh, here. Okay, so like I said, I got this bag and then I got brown and this one here, which is like that. So I got those two. And then I went to the booth for Olin, which is the dyer, or they used to be just a dyer and now they're also a mill from Ireland. And I remember going to their booth, you know, I don't know, I guess it was like it was right before COVID, right? And they didn't have the mill yet then. And they were still, like, she told me, she's like, well, I hadn't had my baby yet then. And I just wanted to buy something there too, because I just thought good memories, you know? So I got this. And this is called Core, 100% fine merino, created using wash fast and light fast dyes made bleed on first wash. It's 220 meters, so it's a DK or maybe a worsted. And if you can see, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but it's basically like cream and then like an orangey rust and then like a dark browny rust. And I thought I would use this as a contrast in a Colorwork yoke. You know, like when people use spin cycle or whatever, I thought this could have a similar use. It's very dense and woolly. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna use it yet. It was a bit of a splurge, so I wanted to just get one and use it in a clever way. Okay, and last, I'm going to put these all in a separate video so you can get a full flip through, but I got some Sandnes Garn magazines. So if you watch again, Inga of Knitting Traditions, she recently made, ¿dónde está? This. She made this Genser. And she talked a lot about this magazine. And the thing with the Sandnes Garn magazines is you can't download them and the patterns aren't sold separately. You have to get the book and they're mostly sold out. I found a place in France and I'll list it below called Laine et Tricot, wool and knitting. And they had this one. They also had this one. And they also had this one. They had others as well, but I flipped through. Now these are like €9 a piece. The shipping was free and it was very quick. I'm gonna give you a full flip through video, but as you can see, like it's beautiful quality. Like the photography is amazing. This is like a full pattern magazine. It's not just kind of, you know, picture pattern. You're really getting styling and colors and oh, I love that one. So beautiful. And once they're sold out, they're gone and you can't get the patterns. Ooh, how cool is that? So yeah, so I picked up 3 and I will do a separate flip through video so you can see all of the patterns in here. And on the way, I have the new Laine magazine, 52 weeks of, what do they call it? 52 weeks of small projects. I literally just got the, here, I'll show you a picture. 52 weeks of easy knits. This one here. I ordered this in pre-sale on a discount from a local online store here in Spain called Picnit. And I just got the notification that it's on its way. So I need to get some of these finished so that I can justify, oh, who am I kidding? I will cast on if I feel like casting on. I will just do it because life is too short to keep yourself from casting on. Yeah, I will. Okay, guys, that's all for me. That's a lot of stuff. But you know what? It all brings me joy. And the stuff that doesn't bring me joy, I just decide not to finish, and I just bless and release. Bless and release. I got such joy from working on that Billy pullover. I really loved working on it, and I thought it was a challenge, and I learned so much, and I love being part of that test knit. I think it was my first or one of my very first test knits, which obviously is something that I'm really enjoying. So I don't begrudge the fact that I'm gonna let that one go. And most of them, as you can tell, I'm gonna finish. It's just a question of when. So I'm gonna be back soon. I'm not gonna say exactly what I have because I have a few things coming along. I am gonna show you some Christmas things around town, and I'll show you more of my advent calendars as I open them. It's so much fun and such a joy. If you have a yarny friend, or you can make a connection with someone on Instagram from another part of the world, I highly recommend it. Even if you do it in January, like make it a January, 30 days or 25 days of opening new yarns. It doesn't have to just be at Christmas. Why? I mean, especially since a lot of people don't celebrate Christmas, so what does it matter, right? But I highly recommend it because it's fun, and it's, reasonably priced to do it from your scraps, and you really get to expose yourself to some new yarns that maybe you've never had the chance to try. So I recommend it. Okay, guys, I hope that wherever you are, the sun is shining, and that you are knitting or sewing or doing whatever makes your crafty heart happy. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.